Hello students, as we are discussing about the manufacturing of basic chemicals. So in today's lecture we are going to see the basic chemical, that is a sulfuric acid. This sulfuric acid which we are using in, that is a laboratory for different purposes, and we have seen that this sulfuric acid, it is placed in the sand bath. Why? Because it is having different properties like corrosive, and hence it should not destroy our skin, and hence we are placing that hazardous sulfuric acid into the sand bath. This sulfuric acid, it is a very colorless, oily, corrosive liquid which is produced by the reaction of sulfur trioxide with water, and it is used in, that is accumulators, as well as in the manufacturing of fertilizers, dyes, explosive, etc. This TNT, that is trinitrotoluene, as well as that picric acid, that is 2,4,6 trinitrophenol, this all these explosives, these are requiring sulfuric acid for their preparations. What is its basic structure? This structure, it is having main, that is sulfur, which is attached to oxygens, that is doubly bonded. Sulfur is doubly bonded to oxygen as well as to, that is OH. This structure of sulfuric acid molecule, and geometrically it is having tetrahedral shape, having bond angle 109 degree. This is the structure of sulfuric acid. This sulfuric acid, it is having different names, like it is also called as a king of compound, oil of vitriol, then dipping acid, battery acid, electrolyte acid, metallic acid, as well as it is also called as a dihydrogen sulfate, because this dihydrogen sulfate, it is for 2 hydrogen sulfate SO4, and hence its name is H2SO4, that is a dihydrogen sulfate. These sulfuric acid, these are having different properties, like we have know like we know that this sulfuric acid, it is soluble in water, then it is diprotic acid. Why it is called as a diprotic acid? Because the two hydrogens which are present in the sulfuric acid, it can easily lose, and hence it is called as a diprotic acid. It is a viscous colorless liquid. Again, it is a oily liquid, and one of the, that is important property is it is highly corrosive. In this left hand side, this sign indicates that is it is a corrosive liquid. It is a non-volatile acid. Non-volatile means which does not get evaporated. That is called as it is a non-volatile acid, and it is a dense liquid. These are the different physical properties of sulfuric acid. Next we are going to see the manufacturing of sulfuric acid. How this sulfuric acid is manufactured at industrial level, that we are going to see. This process for manufacturing of sulfuric acid, it involves these three different steps. That is, first, that sulfur or pyrites gets converted into sulfur dioxide, and then sulfur dioxide again converted into sulfur trioxide, and lastly SO3 gets converted into H2SO4. These are the three steps which are involved for the formation of sulfuric acid. First step, conversion of sulfur to sulfur dioxide, then sulfur dioxide to sulfur trioxide, and sulfur trioxide to H2SO4, that is a sulfuric acid. These are the three steps. And the first step, that conversion of sulfur or pyrites to sulfur dioxide, it is a very easy step. But the second step, that conversion of sulfur dioxide to sulfur trioxide, it is a hard step. Again, the third step, that SO3 when gets converted into H2SO4, that is, this step is takes place by the absorption of water, and that step, it is again very easy step. Means the first step, conversion of sulfur to sulfur dioxide, and third step, that SO3 to H2SO4, these two steps are very easy step. But this second step, that conversion of sulfur dioxide to sulfur trioxide, it is a very hard step. Now we will see in detail about this sulfuric acid manufacturing process. This manufacturing process at industrial level, these are mainly using two types of processes. First, that is a lead chamber process and contact process. We will discuss about these two processes in detail. This comparison of these two processes, that lead chamber process and contact process, in that this lead chamber process, it is producing only 78% H2SO4, but this contact process, it is producing 98% of H2SO4. This lead chamber process, it is requiring further purification, but this contact process, it doesn't require further purification. In the lead chamber process, this required strength of acid does not obtain after dilution. Means when this H2SO4 is produced, it is not producing the required strength of acid after dilution. But in case of contact process, the required strength of acid can be easily prepared after dilution. In case of lead chamber process, this requires further concentration because this 78% H2SO4 is produced and it gets converted into 98 to 100% because it is requiring further concentration to get 98 to 100% H2SO4. But since in a contact process, that is 98% H2SO4 is produced, and hence this particular contact process doesn't require further concentration process. These are some of the, that is a comparison between the lead chamber and contact process. Again, this lead chamber process, that is conversion of sulfur dioxide to sulfur trioxide, is done by the mixture of nitrogen oxide and nitrogen dioxide, that is NO and NO2. But in case of contact process, this conversion of sulfur dioxide to sulfur trioxide takes place with the help of atmospheric oxygen. In lead chamber process, the catalyst used is nitrogen oxide, but in case of contact process, vanadium pentoxide or platinized asbestos is used as a catalyst. Lead chamber process, that is the intermediate form, these are nitrosyl sulfuric acid, which is formed as an intermediate. But in case of contact process, no nitrosyl sulfuric acid is formed as an intermediate. This lead chamber process, it is cheaper and it can be handled very easily. But this contact process, it is a expensive process, but it requires expert supervision. These are the, that is the different properties, or these are the different comparative characteristics between the lead chamber and contact process. And one of the important, that is this lead chamber process, it is an old method which gives impure, that is 78% H2SO4, but this contact process, it is a modern method and which gives the purely, that is 98% H2SO4. Now we are discussing about the contact process. This contact process involves 3 steps. And what are these? These are, the first is conversion of sulfur to sulfur dioxide. That is the first step that we have seen in earlier. That is, this step, it is a very easy step. Then second is conversion of sulfur dioxide to sulfur trioxide, and that takes place with the help of atmospheric oxygen. And the third important step, that is absorption of sulfur trioxide by H2SO4, by water to form H2SO4. These are the 3 steps which are involved in the contact process. These formation of H2SO4 by contact process, these are having some favorable conditions for getting better yield. And what are these conditions? These are, first, the temperature required, it is 450 degree to 550 degree centigrade. The pressure required for this conversion, it is 1.5 to 1.7 atmosphere. And the catalyst that we have, that is seen in, that is a characteristic, that is differentiating characters. In that catalyst, it is used in contact process, it is a vanadium pentoxide or platinized asbestos. And the last, that is the proportion of sulfur dioxide to oxygen, that SO2 when get converted into SO3, that proportion required, it is in the ratio 1:3. These are the certain that is a introductory part about the contact process. In the next lecture, we will discuss about in detail how that sulfur or pyrites get converted into sulfuric acid through contact process. Thank you all of you.